And the guys are too big and they're too muscly and they're not going to be able to keep up.
Yeah.
And the endurance.
Yeah.
You know.
So what do you think the next one's going to be?
Physical.
Physical.
But it might be like a physical.
Like a kind of equal physical,
like
maybe?
I don't know. It might be like physical, because how they gear these competitions. Like this one was definitely meant for a girl. The minute I saw it, I'm like, it's a girl. Because they said it goes off body weight.
Yeah.
So I knew that the more muscly you were, the faster you're gonna go.
Yeah.
And these guys have been working out nonstop.
Yeah.
And they haven't gone on slop.
Yeah.
So their weight is like,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
So I knew that it was gonna. I think it's gonna be a physical one next one, then mental one last. When I say physical, I mean like it could involve some like puzzle stuff too. You know, like some running around. For sure.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. But I think you're a competitor.
I appreciate that. I honestly thought I would be coming into the house, and then all the things I fucking lost.
I know.
It gets down. It gets you down.
It gets you
right?
down. It
It's
makes
like,
you feel.
God.
It makes you feel like not as strong.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, or like. I think what it is too is like we're in a house and then we see people who work out and who are physically fit.
Yeah.
But like if you watch past seasons, a lot of people who are physically fit did not win the competition. Did not win the game.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like even Evil Dick.
Yeah.
Do you remember Evil Dick?
Yeah.
The old man.
Yeah. I know.
He never worked out.
I know. He just smoked and sat around.
Smoked. He yelled at people.
Yeah. Oh my God. It's just so crazy that every week in here is like a whole new week. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like...
It is. I'm trying to just like, because I know that Rochelle's HOH and I know that you're safe too, by the way.
I know she says that, but I fucking went against you guys. I wouldn't put... Do you know what I mean? I told her anyways. I said I won't hold it against you if you...
I personally don't want you to go home.
I appreciate that.
I don't want you to go home. And I did say to her, I'm like, putting Sarah on the block is not a very smart idea. But she wants to go after, she wants to get Heather out of the house, and that's not very smart either. But
no,
it's her
but I can see why she wants to. You know what I mean?
I'm just gonna try to just since it's her HOH, and I know that I'm kind of safe for her HOH. I'm gonna try to maybe just lay low and try to
let her kind of
and try to not be a target for next week. That's pretty much, you know, like maybe let somebody else go crazy and let them.
Yeah. It could be any one of us. Who knows?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you have anything to worry about. God.
One day it was more oil, never enough oil. Now it's never again oil.
What? Back tries?
Sarah, you're around here. What's up?
Go away.
I'm really worried about next week though, because I'm looking at all these people in here, and when the guys strike, I know I'm gonna be first. Who else? They're not gonna go after Adele. They're not. If they go after, because they're such a big alliance, and they know that Adele's gonna be that person to make moves for them that they won't want to make. So they're not gonna go after Adele. They want to keep Adele here.
You think?
100%. They don't want to go after him. They're coming after the girls. Like, they're coming after me.
They probably will,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
But, you know, and the fact that I knew that is part of the reason I did what I did. But, you know, the thing with the boys is, like, 2 days ago, when everybody was asking me, I told them, yes, I'm voting for Paul.
Yeah.
Leave me alone. Don't talk to me about it again, or else I'm going to change my mind to Heather. But I really hadn't decided. I honestly, I had to just get them off my back, right?
Yeah.
But I honestly really hadn't decided until the last minute, and I don't know. everything you do could put a target on you in some way. And forget about, even though they're telling you they're coming after you, they could now look at me as, oh, she's willing to turn on her alliance, she'll be willing to turn on us. Like, it could, you never know what they're thinking.
I know, but I feel like the guys are like, they're very logical players. They're logical, you know, they're not emotional players. And I know because I think very logically. And like, I knew they were logical players when they sent Kyle out the house and not Paul. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, if they were emotional players, Paul would have won. That's what he did to Andrew, right? So I knew that they're gonna think logic.
Everything through.
But if they think everything through, realistically, I don't have any pull with the girls. I honestly don't.
No.
I am not that close with Rochelle. I am not that close with Neda. And I'm okay with Sabrina, but she's closer to everybody else than me. I'm not, like, so it's, I might maybe have a stronger personality, but I really don't have any pull with those girls, you know? And I think because my personality does come off so strong, they might think I do have a lot of pull with them, and I don't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I honestly have, like, I was talking to Rochelle, and I'm like, Rochelle, they're coming after us. Like, they're gonna come after us. You need to go after them first. There's no point in going after Heather, who can't walk or talk straight, and leave a 5-strong G.I. Jane. Like, it's not smart. And she goes, but if I do that, like, they're coming after us, but if I do that, they're really coming after us. I'm like, I don't know what else to say.
I know.
You know what I mean? I'm like, they're like, no, they'll go after Allison or Adele. I'm like, no,
They're not going after Allison, that's for sure.
I told them, I'm like, they're not gonna go after her. They're coming after us, and they're gonna probably take me off first, and they're probably gonna go Neda or Rochelle or Neda, because Sabrina, they're not going after her. And they're not. Listen to me. I'm like, Sabrina, you know you're not going up. She goes, I know, I'm not. I think Sabrina knows that she's safe. So when I'm telling Rochelle, take out one of those big guys because they're coming after us, Sabrina's very opposed to it. You know, she does not want to see Andrew leave this house. She's very, very, very opposed to it. So. I don't know. Very, like when I sit and I think ahead, like I think a week, like further on, and I also look at people, and I'm also thinking, like, who's going up, and I know I'm going up. So I think the minute that happens.
What's lucky about that for you, though, is that you've proven that you can win competitions, and so there is a chance, you do have a chance of pulling yourself off. You know what I mean?
know, yeah.
I'd be more scared if you didn't go up.
That back door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least if they're gonna put you up, fucking put you on the block and give you a chance to fight.
Yeah. Yeah, I will fight my ass off.
Totally. I know you will. I just don't know. It's hard to know who 100%.
But at least we're safe this weekend, and getting the house changes from week to week, and at least somebody's going in. It's not us.
Yeah, as long as it's not us. Then next week it just depends on who's HOH.
It's true. And like I'm alone because there's really no more girls' alliance. I swear, there's really nothing, because I feel like in an alliance, you make decisions for the alliance, and everybody is just looking like in a position, you know, they look out for themselves.
Yeah, I know. And for me, because that's what I did, and now that's what Rochelle's doing.
Yeah. So there's really nothing. So I'm like, shit. Like, I'm in a position that I didn't want to be in. I'm completely alone.
But at the same time, like, because I think we're at a point now where we can be totally honest with each other.
Yeah, and that's what I like.
If we're being honest, I do feel like you kind of did that too. Like, I know you were looking out for I do know that you were looking out what's best for the alliance, but by not putting up, like, you never even talked to me about putting up a big person. Ever one time, which is fine, it's over, but you never did even one time. So I honestly assumed you were doing the same thing that Rochelle's doing, which is making sure you weren't a target.
No.
And so then when, with the whole Paul thing, that's why I was like, well, I don't understand. You didn't put them on the block, so obviously you're trying to keep them happy, but now you're trying to do this. It just didn't make sense to me.
Okay, when I didn't talk to you, I did, like, because you were never really in the room, but I did express all of this to the girls. Like, I weighed out every single thing, and I figured that Sabrina was filling you in. Because I'm like,
I'm
okay.
sure she was only filling me on certain things,
Okay.
because literally, like, I would find shit out last
So I'll
minute.
tell you exactly what happened. When I did consider putting up Andrew and Kenny, the girls were too scared. And there's no point in me making a big move in this game if I don't have the support. If I don't have people who are going to back me up on that support.
I gotcha.
And also, I didn't want to put up Andrew and Kenny, and I'll tell you why. If I put up Andrew and Kenny and I put you girls in the position to vote out Andrew or Kenny, there's targets on all of us.
Yeah.
I definitely put you guys in the front. The lines are drawn, there's targets on all of us.
Yeah.
If I put up Paul, I could have put up Paul and Adele. I was trying to, if I put up Paul and Heather goes and Paul stays, then our hands aren't dirty. We're guaranteed another week, and Paul's not coming after any of us. He's going after the big players.
Yes. And
That's
so
why
that
I did
makes sense, but you can see from my perspective, not, you know,
Definitely,
obviously
yeah.
my bad for not being in there more, but I didn't know that these were even considerations.
Yeah,
so,
I definitely threw
So
them out
the
there.
communication was bad.
It was bad.
And
It was,
I
yeah.
just felt like I didn't, either I wasn't being included or else
Or you're
it wasn't making sense in my mind.
Yeah, for sure. It was bad, but I figured, I'm like, Sabrina, I'm like, we gotta fill Sarah in on this. She goes, yeah, don't worry, I'll let her know. But I think maybe what she was doing was filling you in on what is and not what we ran through.
And in, you know, not to throw Sabrina in the bus, but in her defense, when you go through tons of scenarios, it's likely not that she meant to leave things out.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just when you talk, have 2 hours of conversation
Yeah.
to fill someone in 15 minutes, you just give them the cliff notes,
The
right?
Cliff Notes, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it was really bad communication, but that's where my head was at. I'm like, if I put up Andrew and Kenny and they go head to head.
And so you wouldn't have had the support for a back door, you don't think?
No, because even when I had the POV, I wanted to put Andrew or Kenny on the block. The reason why I was considering Andrew or Kenny is because I'm like, okay, Andrew has a lot of ties in this house. He's too close to Sabrina, he's close to the new girls, and he's very close with Kenny. The reason why I was thinking of putting Kenny on the block is because I don't really think John's very fond of Andrew. And I think Kenny's that glue that holds that friggin' thing together.
Yeah.
And I figured if Kenny left, then, you know, there's only really Andrew coming after me because John's weak.
Yeah.
I played everything out of my mind. I honestly did.
Yeah.
The girls were too scared. They thought it was too soon. And also, I also thought, I'm like, if I did do it and took out a big player right now, not only am I a target for the guys, but I'm a target for the girls later on in the future because they'll see me as a person, as a threat. And I didn't want to come off that way in week 3. You know, so I did play certain scenarios out in my head. And also, by doing that, I'm putting you guys in a position to make a decision to vote a big player out. And now we're target number 1. There's a girls' alliance. It's out there. Whereas if we did the thing where Heather went, Paul stayed, you know, we all hate Paul anyways, guaranteed another week. But that wasn't the truth. The truth was, Paul wasn't coming after us. He was going after those guys.
And see, the guys knew that.
I know.
And it wasn't because I told them.
It was
they
very
knew
apparent.
it, and that's why I was scared.
Yeah. If I knew that, I think what happened was I knew they knew it, but it was after the POV ceremony, which sucked. Because if I knew they knew that before the POV, I would have used my veto.
I know.
You know? But that's the only thing.
I think that's why, honestly, our best bet probably, even though it probably would have made us targets anyways, would have been to not tell the guys at all.
Yeah.
And to just do it.
Yeah.
Then we wouldn't have all this time of them putting all the pressure, all the fucking everything, figuring out that we were working with Paul. None of that would have happened, and we could have just played off, sorry, like this was the best for our game, and there just would have been none of that other fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it's true.
It's easy to look back and see how everything could have been done differently.
Yeah, for sure. It's true. The only reason why I think I told them too is because I thought we needed their votes.
I know. But then they ended up not voting anyways.
Yeah. Exactly.
They all swore on their fucking everything. I don't know. Personally, I think swearing on things really means nothing. What are you swearing on?
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything.
I'll never swear on my kids just because I just don't want to.
Yeah.
But it really means nothing in here.
No,
it doesn't.
No, it doesn't mean anything. Because that week, they were like, okay, you didn't put us up. We're fine. We're not coming after you anyway. But I knew. I knew they were going to come after me. But I just figured, oh, well, if they're coming, we still have the numbers anyways. Because as shady as Paul is, Paul goes with whoever's in power. And pretty much, that's just how Paul is.
I know, and that's another thing that scared me is if the guys would have won, he would have been with the guys.
But the guys
if they would have asked him to vote.
I feel like the guys would not have let him in. I don't know. I don't.
They might not have let him in, but they would have done what we were doing, which is just like, buddy, look, you're safe this week if you vote this way.
Yeah.
And he would have fucking done it. I don't know, unless there's something I don't know. He did make it sound like him and Adele had some sort of... When he talked to me, he basically said, she told me I wasn't going home, and I've got myself in a better position than I've ever been. And so I was like, okay, interesting. So he really made me feel like you, Adele, and Paul had something.
I would be a freaking fool to go with Adele and Paul, especially Paul.
I know, but Adele has no one,
Yeah.
So he's easily going to cling to whoever gives him attention, and I do feel like you and Adele have something, regardless of if you tell me or not, but I know there's something going on there.
I think because I did not put Adele on the block, again, I think because of how, I think he's like, if I win HOH, I will not put you on the block type thing. I think how things played out, maybe he feels bad for me type thing, but there's no set thing, in stone. It's pretty, the girls were set in stone.
Yeah.
And there's nothing there.
Within the last couple of days, when he started showing everybody his veto, he pulled me aside and he showed it to me. I honestly, he didn't explain to me exactly how long it all.
Yeah.
He did, but I forget. And then he said, I'm going to tell Ika and Sabrina right now. So I was like, okay, well, I guess he's telling everybody.
He told us right here.
Yeah.
And then when he told us, when Sabrina walked off, I was like, I'm like, so who did you tell?
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, I told Sarah and I told this. But when he said I told Sarah, I'm like, when? And I think he said yesterday or something along those lines. Because when he showed you, he didn't tell us right away. So I was
He showed me, okay, this is what happened. We're in the pantry the day before. And he's like, I want to show you what my power is. And he starts pulling this card out of his pocket, and I saw that it was red, but somebody walked in.
Yeah, so he put it back.
So he put it back, and then he didn't talk to me until, I don't think it was the next day. It felt like hours later. And after he told me, that's when he said, I'm going to tell Sabrina and Ika right now. So I didn't feel like I needed to tell you because I knew he was going to tell you guys right away.
Yeah, I was like, okay.
And honestly, I was surprised because I thought you knew anyways.
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't know. He told me and Sabrina when we were sitting right here doing laundry, he came down and he told us.
So that's why it surprised me. When he finally got a chance later, it was hours later, maybe the next day, but I don't think it was the next day. I think it was only hours later. And he came over and he's like, he saw me upstairs in the bathroom and he's like, okay, I only have a couple seconds. There's so many fucking people everywhere. It's a veto. I can pull somebody off and replace somebody, and I only have it for 2 weeks or 3 weeks or whatever he said. And then he's like, I'm going to tell Sabrina and Ika right now, just so you know, I'm telling them I want to be out in the open road, everything. And then fucking off he went.
Yeah, he didn't tell us. I don't think he told us
So
right
I didn't
away.
know and not tell you guys. Honestly, I didn't.
That's how it kind of came. But I asked him.
Do you see how everything can get so mumbled?
I know. Yeah. So I think that's why when I was thinking if anyone's gonna probably flip, it might be Sarah. I also said, it also might be Sabrina too, because Andrew was pressuring her a lot, and she was crying and she was upset. So I told her, I'm like, Sabrina, I'm like, are you sure you're okay? And she's like, yeah, I'm sure. And
I knew she was never going to go against it. She told me, and she swore on her dog she was not going to go against you.
yeah, but I wasn't sure, because she said, you know, she really cares about this guy and it's really, really hard for her. And I knew that Neda wouldn't flip, because she said John wasn't pressuring her as much, type thing. So I'm like, okay, fine. But when that happened, I'm like, shit. I'm like, if we're in a girls' alliance and that's known and nobody says anything, I'm a little bit worried, because you can see how it comes off. It comes off as if, like, you know what I mean.
Trust me, I'm the queen of understanding miscommunication in the last couple days. And I can understand if one of the guys, like, if afterwards one of the guys says to you, yeah, Sarah told me 2 days ago she was voting out Paul, I can see how that might make you wonder too, because I did tell them that. If they asked me, I did tell them, don't worry, I'm voting with you, because I wanted them off my back.
Yeah.
And I told them, if you bother me one more time, I'm changing my vote to Heather, because I needed time by myself to really weigh out my options. So I can see how that, if one of the guys tells you that I've known for longer, all this kind of stuff, I can see how that builds a legitimate case as to why you shouldn't trust me. But on the flip side, the same thing happened on my side. You know what I mean? There's all these little things that you don't understand, and you only have your perspective on, and that's the only thing that you can go on.
Yeah, I completely understand. No, I get it. Yeah, it's true.
That's why it's so hard, because you have to only go with your perspective, and sometimes your perspective is not the right perspective because you're seeing it from the wrong angle.
It's true.
Or you're hearing it in the wrong context, or you don't fully understand.
It's true.
Do you know what I mean? If Adele said, oh, well, I told her yesterday, he was thinking about when he had me in the pantry, but yet he didn't actually tell me yet.
No, I know.
Do you know what I mean? Like, it all gets so jumbled.
But then he caught him. I'm like, oh, I don't want to get anybody in trouble, so don't ask me that. I'm like, you're so stupid.
That's so funny.
I'm like, you're so stupid. No, I 100% get it. I think I was sitting right here yesterday, and I'm like, Arlie, I'm like, when did you know about the votes? And he goes, oh, I knew yesterday. No, he said he knew yesterday.
And that was yesterday, so then that would have been 2 days ago.
So I'm like, okay, but
oh, so it did. Yeah, okay. I was thinking.
So he said he knew. So when he said it in my head, I'm like, so this was already set in stone, and I was a freaking idiot who didn't know. Because, like, after the whole situation, I knew Kenny knew. I knew he knew, and he was like, oh, I thought you were going to do your whole speech. I had no idea. Who flipped?
I swear I didn't.